Hello and welcome to this demo of Earthster for Education, with an emphasis on why we think that Earthster is the perfect tool for you to be educating your students in life cycle assessment and in environmental science in general. I'm Daniel Collada-Riz, Head of Product at Earthster, one of the co-founders and former Associate Professor in Innovation for Sustainability. And I've educated a great deal of students in life cycle assessment, so I know the difficulties that you can have getting the concepts across, especially when the tools are not necessarily helping you, but sometimes even requiring a learning of their own. Now, we say that Earthster is perfectly suited for this task because it's interactive, it's incremental, and it's insightful. And I'll go through each one of those in the demo. And this is how the product looks. As you see, it's inviting, it's visual, it makes you want to start exploring. You are seeing the life cycle of a product, in this case a computer mouse. So you can very easily start with this view already to explain the concept of the life cycle of a product, meaning that the impacts are not only production, but also the distribution and the use of this product. In our case, we include the end of life as the waste management of the use phase. And you can also even discuss topics like circularity. We draw a lot of inspiration from that in making our diagram circular so that we initiate the conversation in materials not needing to end at the end of the life, but becoming the beginning of a new life cycle. And we say that it's interactive because if I go into any of these circles and I click a second time, I can edit these values and I will get immediate feedback on the effects that can have to the environmental impact of my product. The faster the feedback, the faster the learning. That means that your students can build a model, and as they go, they see how those decisions are affecting their environmental impact, and the learnings stick more. And when they do changes as they build the model, the learnings sink in. It's also incremental in the sense that you don't have to make the perfect model to begin with because you get feedback all the time. So you can make a coarse model to begin with, and then you can detail the parts that matter the most or the parts where you want to focus the lesson. Now, one of the reasons why one of the ways how we've done that is by including not only process information, but also input-output information. So you have EchoInvent, which has very high quality data on detailed processes and detailed materials. But you also, if I filter it so that it doesn't show EchoInvent, you also have input-output information that it's less granular, it's more coarse. So for example, you have here steel product manufactured from purchased steel. That is very, very general. So if that's the information that I have available at the moment, or that's as detailed as I want to go for the first model, I can use this, and later when I see that this is a relevant impact, I can jump in and make this model a little bit better. And finally, we say that Earthster is insightful because it makes it very easy for you to point out what is driving each one of the environmental impacts. If I go to, for example, the use phase and I see that most of the impact comes from electricity consumption, in this model, I've built in details on which flavors of electricity consumption have more or less impact, like, for example, power on standby. But even when I get to the end of my model, to the end of what I've modeled, I can say explore, and I can see what's driving the environmental impact of that item from the database, that electricity that I've pulled in from EchoInvent. And I can keep going and going until I understand very well what's driving the environmental impact of that particular electricity consumption in this case. So we put a lot of focus on making it easy to get answers from that model. And I would even say play with it so that you extract as much insight as your curiosity wants. We always say in Earthster that we want to give the best answers to your questions with the best available information. So if you have little information, you can still dig further, and the more information you go, or as you go further in your class, you are delivering better and better answers for your students. And that was it. That was the demo of Earthster. I'll be very happy to hear from you if you have any questions. And I hope that you have an excellent experience with Earthster.